The game must end.
Green light.
But for that to happen,
Since release in 2021, Squid Game has taken the world by storm, becoming one of Netflix's most talked about series. With its blend of psychological thriller, horror, and social commentary, the Korean survival drama captivated audiences with its high-stakes games, brutal eliminations, and sharp critique of economic disparity. If you're a fan of Squid Game and have been searching for a film that captures its same tension, dread, and social relevance, there's one American horror film you absolutely need to see. That film is The Belko Experiment, 2016, a chilling thriller that explores the dark depths of human nature when ordinary people are forced into a deadly survival game. Much like Squid Game, it places its characters in a controlled environment where they must make harrowing choices to stay alive. If you're intrigued by stories of psychological terror, moral dilemmas, and the terrifying unpredictability of human nature under pressure, The Belko Experiment is the perfect film to add to your watch list. What is The Belko Experiment? Directed by Greg McLean and written by Guardians of the Galaxy's James Gunn, The Belko Experiment is a violent, psychological horror film that takes place in an isolated corporate office building in Bogotá, Colombia. The film follows a group of 80 employees working for Belko Industries, a seemingly normal American company. One day, without warning, the employees find themselves locked inside the building as a mysterious voice over the intercom announces a horrifying ultimatum: kill or be killed. At first, many refuse to believe what's happening. But when deadly consequences begin unfolding, such as heads exploding from implanted tracking devices, the office workers are faced with an impossible choice: take part in the experiment or risk their own deaths. The setup immediately echoes the themes of Squid Game, in which contestants enter what they believe is a harmless challenge only to realize that their lives are at stake. Just as Squid Game forces its participants to compete in twisted versions of childhood games, the Belko Experiment transforms an everyday workplace into a battleground where office workers must betray their coworkers to survive. How the Belko Experiment mirrors Squid Game. A deadly game with no escape. In both Squid Game and the Belko Experiment, the main characters are thrust into a nightmarish situation where there's no escape. In Squid Game, players sign up voluntarily but quickly realize that leaving the competition is nearly impossible. In the Belko Experiment, the employees never agree to participate, but they are forced into the game against their will. Both stories feature an oppressive, all-knowing force that watches the contestants' every move, controlling their actions and ensuring compliance through deadly consequences. In Squid Game, masked guards eliminate those who refuse to play. In the Belko Experiment, explosive microchips implanted in the workers' heads keep them from breaking the rules. The constant surveillance and presence of an unseen mastermind heighten the paranoia, making every decision feel like a matter of life or death. Ordinary people pushed to their limits. One of the most compelling aspects of Squid Game was its focus on everyday people, debt-ridden individuals desperate for a second chance. Unlike many action films where the protagonists are trained killers or elite soldiers, Squid Game showcased regular individuals, gamblers, immigrants, and workers forced to navigate an unthinkable situation. The Belko Experiment follows the same approach. The film's characters are not criminals or soldiers, they are office workers, receptionists, HR reps, managers who suddenly find themselves in a scenario where their survival instincts are tested. Some quickly embrace the chaos, resorting to violence to increase their odds, while others desperately try to hold onto their humanity. The psychological depth of both Squid Game and the Belko Experiment makes them more than just bloodbaths. They explore the morality of survival. What would you do if you were forced to kill someone you worked with every day? The social experiment aspect. Both Squid Game and the Belko Experiment function as twisted social experiments that test human behavior in extreme conditions. In Squid Game, the competition is structured to manipulate contestants' emotions, encouraging alliances, betrayals, and sacrifices to keep the audience engaged. The wealthy VIPs who control the game treat the participants like entertainment, mirroring real-world issues of class divide and the exploitation of the poor. The Belko Experiment similarly serves as a cruel psychological test. The organization behind the experiment watches from the shadows, observing how different people react under pressure. Some characters try to protect their colleagues, others attempt to hide, and some embrace their darkest instincts.